What is going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the Scatter Signal, the new fusion rifle from the Season of the Witch, which is a rapid fire frame 460 charge time on this bad boy, allowing us to have a beautiful kinetic fusion that is similar to the Cartesian coordinate, one of the best for outputs of damage for that PvE realm. But this one, like I said, Strand in our kinetic slot, so we'll go over both PvP and PvE God rolls for you guys. Before we get into the God rolls, we're gonna go over its origin trait, Dragon's Vengeance. When an ally dies or you reach critical health, the weapon's magazine refills and it gains a bonus range, charge time, and handling, so both good for PvP and PvE. Very interesting perk on these new weapons. So, starting us out, you can see these stats down below with the 50 charge time and with 48 on reload is not terrible at all. 8 in the magazine with that overflow is kind of crazy, and we have the charge time of 460. So, for our rapid fire frame here, I went with charge time as its intrinsic perk or masterwork, if you will, so we can have that super quick 460 instead of going something like reload, because we're already at almost 50. Now, I went with small bore as well as enhanced battery for that increased magazine size. You could go with liquid coils if you would like for that little extra damage, but totally up to you. I think it is a personal opinion, especially since we're pairing it with overflow. Picking up that special or heavy ammo loads this weapon even further beyond the capacity, so kind of nutty in my opinion, because we can have like 16 in the magazine, and then with that controlled burst that we're pairing it with, landing every shot in a burst grants this weapon increased damage and a reduced charge time for an improved duration, so we get less charge time, even faster for that DPS, as well as increased damage with 16 shots because of overflow. It is super nice for that DPS, and pairing it with the Strand synergy, unraveling rounds adds to that as well. But we do have a couple other options if you would like in this column. First off, we do have Splice, a new perk this season. Casting your class ability allows the weapon to sever targets on hits for an improved duration up to a maximum of targets, so you can't hit like 80 targets with it. But that Splice and Sever, again, pretty nice for the Strand synergy of this fusion rifle, but totally up to you whichever one you go with. I personally would go with Overflow over Splice. Now, instead of going with Controlled Burst, which I definitely think is the best option in this category, you could go with Hatchling or Attrition Orbs that sustain damage, creates Orbs of Power. Definitely not my favorite perk, but it is interesting for creating those extra Orbs of Power. And Hatchling, again, especially if you're pairing it with a Slice, you can get that extra Strand synergy with Hatchling as well as severing those targets. So PvE realm, this thing is definitely up there in the S tier for sure. Slaps out bosses, champions, whatever you are going into. That Strand synergy, even pairing it with just normal damage in general, going through that second boss of the Warlord's Ruin dungeon. I'm using this with like Sunshot and some heavy, so definitely a go-to for PvE. Now, moving on to the PvP side of things, this thing is also pretty good in my opinion. We're going to go with range for this. You can see the stats down below, trying to stack it out the best that we can. So that's why we're going with that as our masterwork. Moving on to the barrel, definitely, like I said, going for range, so I'm giving this hammer forged rifling. You could go something like a corkscrew if you want that little extra in the handling and stability, but I personally like hammer forged the best. For our battery, one really makes sense. Projection fuse gives us that nice little increase to our range. Now for the third and fourth column, I'm definitely going with perpetual motion in this first column right here, so we gain that bonus stability, handling, and reload while the wielder is in motion. Super easy in Crucible, especially with the fourth column perk in Kickstart, so we gain that bonus damage and charge time. during a slide after sprinting for an improved duration. So this is a match made in heaven for the PvP realm, and like I said, it slaps pretty good in my opinion. Definitely up there. I would even give this a 4.5 out of 5, throw it up in the A tier for the PvP realm. This thing absolutely slaps for both of those realms, so S and A tier for this weapon. Not really too good of other options in either of the columns here for the PvP realm, so definitely grind it out to grab this one. Like I said, very good weapon. Was my first one I tried to craft this season because of how good it is in both PvP as well as PvE. So again, appreciate all you guys for that support. All my socials down below in the description, One-Eyed Jedi, as well as my Discord, so don't be afraid to join that up. Love helping people through stuff on these streams as well, so hit that subscribe and bell so you don't miss out on any of that, as well as the socials. Like I said, appreciate all y'all. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.